General Neyland Stadium was built by games like this, as we welcome you to one of the fiercest rivalries college football has celebrated through the years. Bama Crimson, Vol Orange, a color clash for the 97th time. It's one of the South's true sports spectacles. Tennessee, Alabama. It's written some of college football's greatest stories. Now a chance to witness the crafting of the next chapter. Stadium here in Knoxville. Number 4 Alabama trying to maintain their status as a top playoff contender, as a young Tennessee team with a hungry and talented defense has sized them up. A rivalry so ingrained in the culture of this sport, simply referred to by its old traditional date on the calendar, the third Saturday in October. We know it's the 4th. No matter when they play, it's been Bama lately. 7 straight. And as if these two need any more fuel to their long-standing rivalry fire, this was the scene at 5:21 this afternoon as Lane Kiffin returned to the place where he has been vilified. Former Vols coach who left in January 2010. Now the Bama offensive coordinator. The much anticipated return of Lane Kiffin to here at Rocky Top. As we say, good evening and welcome to another primetime night in the SEC. Joe Tessitore alongside Brock Heward. We'll say hello to Shannon Spake in just a few moments. Brock, nobody on this Tennessee team was around when Lane Kiffin was here in 2009. No matter which way you go here, there's one way, Bama's way in recent years.
That's right, and in these rivalry games, that really stings as a player. Somewhere I'm going to guess Peyton Manning doesn't play tomorrow. He's watching this game, and he has tremendous pride that he never lost to Alabama in his career as a volunteer. On the other side tonight, you've got A.J. Johnson, who came back to school, and I promise you, did not come back to school to lose every single season to Alabama. These rivalry games do mean a little something extra for those players.
Wow, was Bama rolling last week, and do they look good as we get close to the College Football Playoff Selection Committee's first rankings? But they have had some issues on the road.
They've got to travel. Their defense has traveled. You hear that all the time about elite defenses, and theirs is right on the verge of that kind of label. But offensively, they've really been challenged to run the ball. That will be so key to settle their quarterback down on the road. If they run it, they can take some of the sting out of this fan base that is ready to pounce.
One of the great moments in the sport. And we're going to run right through that tee. The Vols in front of these fans that want it so badly tonight. And the coach that they felt had them pointing in the right direction and then left after a year has returned with mighty Alabama. Great concerns with Justin Worley all week long, starting quarterback for the Vols. He left the Ole Miss game with an injury. Asked for who will play quarterback tonight. Here's Shannon. Good evening, Shannon.
Hi, Joe. Well, Coach Jones told me moments ago that Justin Worley will not play tonight. And according to coaches, quote, no timetable for his return. He did have a strength test yesterday, and Jones told me that while he could throw the ball, there was no velocity, and he doesn't want to risk having him further injured tonight. Worley did go through warm-ups in his uniform. He'll be on the sideline with both of the quarterbacks who will play here tonight. Nathan Peterman, the redshirt sophomore, will start first, and expect Josh Dobbs to go in around the 3rd series, but of course that could all be situational. Coach did tell me with Dobbs in the game, expect a little bit more of a run game from the quarterback. But Brock, Joe, how will they have to adjust without Justin Worley in this game?
So Dobbs and Peterman, says Shannon, and perhaps we see some others, maybe some wildcat action, get some of those athletes in the backfield. As Alabama won the toss, they defer. Tennessee will receive the opening kick here in Knoxville. Foreman and Berry back deep for the Vols. The talented Adam Griffith to kick away for the Tide. And this is the true freshman, Evan Berry. Well blocked and a good return for Tennessee. as he was taken down by Reggie Ragland for Alabama. So with Justin Worley out, they turn to Nathan Peterman. He himself missed some extended time after surgery on a broken thumb last year. This year he's been limited, just 15 pass attempts and 39 yards of passing. As Worley will look on. And Jalen Hurd will try to get around the side, and he does, as he got past Ragland and then was taken down and forced out by Trey DePriest. But that's a good start for the true freshman as he goes for 12 yards.
To answer Shannon's question, what do you do with two new guys under center? That's exactly what you do. You get a mix of that run game going. You're going to see lots of tempo and formations. Feel very comfortable that these quarterbacks can handle this system.
And go with the screen this time to Von Pearson, the JUCO transfer, 23 years old, quite an athlete. He goes for 8 yards. Good start for the Vols as they have crossed midfield in 2 plays. Up tempo for Tennessee on this opening drive. Delay with Hurd. And he spins ahead close to the 41. That's a first down for Tennessee.
I'll tell you what you're seeing here in the first 3 snaps is Alabama saying we can just line up and play our base defense and take care of Tennessee. And that's not the case. An 11-yard first run, moving the chains. Very good movement on early downs. This has been a Tennessee run game that's been one of the most challenged in college football.
First down pass now batted down and incomplete. That was Jarek Williams, the defensive back, who was up at the line of scrimmage to make that play.
Here's your first look at a little bit of pressure as well. As I said, based on every other call, and this time you're going to bring both the nickel back there, Jarek off the side, as well as Ragland up the middle. Reggie Ragland, who's having an all-SEC kind of year from his linebacker position.
This is the direct snap now, and Jalen Hurd gets out after a gain of maybe 3 yards.
Can you imagine the confidence that can be built offensively if you get your opening drive and just find a way to get points? You get a first down here, you move these sticks, you put yourself in range, in scoring position range, which would be huge for the psyche of this offense.
3rd and 7. And a sack. Peterman taken down by Xavier Dixon. 6.5 sacks on the year now for Dixon.
4th in the conference at getting to the quarterback, and you can expect to see plenty of line stunts and movement up front in these passing situations. This is a beleaguered offensive line. Lots of new pieces. True freshmen. Even a player with 1 ACL going for night in Jacob Gillum. And I promise you, in pass downs, you're going to see plenty of different movement looks from the Crimson Tide.
Senior Matt Darr on to punt. Cyrus Jones puts his heels on the 10-yard line. And this sails into the end zone. 46-yard punt for a touchback. Tennessee was able to move the ball before that 3rd down when Dixon did his damage. Lane Kiffin calling the plays from down on the field. First time that Nick Saban has had that in a coordinator. And of course, you heard the cascade of boos that came down as he sends out his 5th-year senior Blake Sims.
Best on the move. I would expect him to get some play pass early, find a way to get your best receiver involved. Nobody targets one receiver more than the Crimson Tide and Amari Cooper. I like Blake at his best when he's moving.
Chris Black running out late as they go 2-by-2 bunch formation. And they're going to boot this and get Cooper coming out in space where he is so dangerous. Amari Cooper. See ya. Tide rolling early, just like last week. Nothing's changed. Brian Randolph absolutely whiffed on the tackle. and Cooper was gone. 80-yard touchdown by Amari Cooper. Welcome back to Rocky Top, Lane.
Lane Kiffin scripts his first 16 plays, and he wanted to come out on that first drive and have some play pass. He gets in the 2-by-2 look. They're a little late to line up. Tennessee is caught looking in the backfield. A wonderful call, getting Amari Cooper in a new position, sliding him underneath the line of scrimmage, and making the Volunteers pay.
And he misses the extra point after it was pushed back. No excuse for Adam Griffith there. First PAT missed for Griffith. But Amari Cooper and Blake Sims, boy, did they make it look easy. Man who leads the SEC in receptions. 1 for 1, and the big score to open it up. Lane Kiffin's offense in Alabama outgained Texas A&M by 430 yards last week. They just went for 80 yards on one play. Amari Cooper's 8th touchdown reception of the year. Blake Sims' 14th touchdown pass of the year. Foreman will take a knee. I'll take you back to 2009 when Lane Kiffin was the head coach of Tennessee, going up against then #1 Alabama. And this was a thriller back then. Remember Mount Cody, the 350-pound nose guard, blocked a 44-yard field goal attempt. And the final play, 12-10, Alabama escaped Kiffin's Vols back then.
Hard to fathom. That was the last winning season here in Knoxville. 7-6 and oh so close. If just one of those field goals can go the other way, it's an even better first season, first outing, and only outing for Lane here at Tennessee.
And here's Peterman as they ran that option play where he can give or sprint and throw, and he throws incomplete. Nathan Peterman starting tonight at quarterback as Justin Worley is out. Injured his shoulder late in the game against Ole Miss. He's been taking a beating this year. Worley suffered 30 sacks in the course of 7 games. Jalen Hurd, big freshman, is a top recruit. Future of this program. He's been playing well during the middle of his freshman season for 7 yards.
Asked Butch pretty clearly yesterday, when adversity hits offensively and you've got some real challenges on your offensive line, a backup quarterback that could play, who's your difference makers? Who are some of your young leaders that are going to be the voice? And he pointed right to this kid, even as a true freshman, as one of those real alpha males on his offense, one of those real leaders in doing it from a very, very young age.
3 as he runs out. Now they swing it to Hurd. And Hurd tries to slither his way past Cyrus Jones, and it's going to be close to that mark as you see the linesman with his foot that looks just to be in front of that line to make. Send the punt team out into the field as that spot has him short. On the way to Cyrus Jones.
Nothing to lose if you're Tennessee in these special teams games. Watch it all night long.
Guard turns this one over as the fair catch is just beyond the 20-yard line. A 45-yard punt by Dar. Bama's offense back out there when we come back. And what do you do for an encore? Play 2 of the night for the Tide. 80-yard touchdown strike to open up the night. Here's Sims now. Look at the time. And he threw it just beyond T.J. Yeldon. Impact players are brought to you by Chick-fil-A, bro.
Well, you already saw one of them, and they tried to get their other playmaker the ball right there. Actually had T.J. Yeldon. It's Yeldon on the ground, and as I said, their run game and their number splits home and away have been a big, big reason why the Tide have struggled offensively. And over 400 tackles for A.J. Johnson right in the middle. He's a 3-down linebacker. He is going to play a long time in the NFL, and he came back for his senior year for nights like this.
Sims, quick strike right into the pocket of Cooper. 3rd down for that. 14-yard reception, and they move the chains.
You can see Tennessee pre-snap trying to change the picture there for Blake, but once again, tremendous protection. He missed Yeldon on a very similar concept on the 1st down. He doesn't miss Coop to move the chains on 3rd down.
And on the slant this time, the Chris Black, it's incomplete. Shannon.
Well, Joe, after that first drive, Lane Kiffin brought his guys around, and he was sitting with them, figuring out what they were able to do so well. And he looked at me and he said, you know, it was just one play. So certainly knows that there's a long way to go in this game. But they did establish that first goal, goal number 1 of early success.
That was early success indeed. 80-yard touchdown to Cooper. They had Sims in the boot. Cooper coming with him, and then he turned it upfield with all that speed. Here's the toss now. Yeldon patiently waited for the blockers to set up and still trying to drive a bit. And then Tennessee gang tackling and sending him back. They'll give him forward progress out towards the 43-yard line.
Here you go again, another 3rd down situation, and Blake trying to hurry up and get his guys aligned, not let Tennessee dictate with all their looks.
Cooper is on fire early to the 41. 21 more yards for Amari Cooper.
And everybody basically, when you play Cooper, is going to try to play a safety over the top. And one way to beat that coverage, there you see it, there's some of the cloud coverage with the safety over top, is those in-breaking routes. Been very successful here early.
Here goes Cooper again. Can you possibly have a better start to a game than this? Amari Cooper, 41-yard touchdown. How's a $155 and 2 scores sound for Lane Kiffin's main man of this offense right now?
One of the challenges Tennessee has is they love to play man coverage. Cameron Sutton is a really good press corner. He likes to play man-to-man, having to get out of character tonight to try to cloud cover to play that safety over the top. And right now, Alabama's got a good secondary on their heels.
Another big moment for Kiffin and Cooper. Big leg from Griffith. We got a new quarterback in for Tennessee, as we expected to see Joshua Dobbs. Josh Dobbs started the final 4 games of last year. Justin Worley, the starter, out injured. Peterman went, and now Dobbs gets his turn. And he gets it out to Jalen Hurd, and Hurd was able to keep his balance. And finally taken down by Jarek Williams, and that's a 1st down for Tennessee.
And this was the plan all the way along. You heard Shannon say in the open of our show they expected the 3rd series of the game based on the flow and how it's gone. I know Dobbs would rather be coming in not down 13, but this was the plan. This is no reaction to a slow start.
And they go with the jet sweep with Pearson, and he just couldn't make that cut. May have gotten a yard turning the corner, but Eddie Jackson was there with pursuit.
Going to be difficult into the short field there, into the boundary. I'm excited to see Dobbs tonight, though. This is a kid that's put on over 25 pounds from when he enrolled. Remember, he got his first taste as a true freshman last year against this Alabama team.
He led Tennessee to the first touchdown drive scored against Bama last year down in Tuscaloosa. Talk about being thrown into the fire. 2nd and 9. Quick strike on the quick seam, and it should have been caught by Ethan Wolf.
That's yet another true freshman. Upwards of 6 true freshmen have started for Tennessee on this offensive side of the ball. You get what you want, and that's a beautiful throw. Ragland gets his hands in there, but that's a play that Wolf has got to come down with. And a couple throws here early. And even though he's had no action all season long, you're seeing some of that practice work and preparation pay off for Dobbs.
Hadn't taken a single snap before this series. 3rd and 9. A little bit of pressure off the edge as he steps up, and then they get to him. As you're seeing a lot of Alabama players, I think since that Arkansas game, everybody's meeting at the football, this Tide defense.
Even Kirby Smart said, I don't know if I've watched game tape of our kids playing harder than they did a week ago. And I sent you guys a bunch of screen grabs in our week of preparation. 6, 7 Crimson Tide players getting to the football against A&M a week ago. And he wanted to see whether or not his guys could match some of that emotion and intensity. And that's 3 series and now the 3rd consecutive punt for Tennessee.
Maybe a busy night for Matt Carr, the senior punter. He turns that one over again. He's been striking the ball well. Fair catch at around the 10-yard line by Jones. See Sims trying to communicate with the roar of 102,000. As Yeldon fighted for about a yard there, tackled by A.J. Johnson and the rest.
You know, a week ago, Cameron Sutton played Laquan Treadwell one-on-one. He wanted that coverage. He wanted that plan. And Treadwell and Ole Miss, 4 receptions, and they really played good defense into the 4th quarter of that game. That first snap was a little more of their traditional man-to-man, and you can see Sutton once again at the bottom of your screen. That's going to be the matchup. That's the guy you got to slow down.
And here goes another guy that's tough to slow down, T.J. Yeldon. Kurt Magid got to him, but not after 16 yards by Yeldon.
It's a little different start than the last 2 trips on the road for the Crimson Tide in a big, big way.
This is what they look like when they've been playing down in T-Town. Andrew White, just a little now route. And that gets them close to midfield. 8 more yards for Blake Sims.
Look at what it's done to this crowd here that's fighting like mad to stay involved. It's a big reason why Lane Kiffin said we need to experience that success early. Exactly what Shannon reiterated just a few minutes ago. You find success early, and this fan base, no matter how angry, how hostile they may be towards you, a lot harder to cheer when you're looking at a goose egg.
Here's a bubble to White. Picks up the first block, turns on the speed, cuts back. And he gets it inside the 35, a 17-yard reception. Brian Vogler, the 6'7" tight end, had a nice block there.
And you know what else? When that crowd is quiet, all of a sudden Lane can communicate on the sidelines like he does in Tuscaloosa. You can get those personnel groups in and out, and he's not having to scream and yell as he was in Oxford and even in Fayetteville just a couple weeks ago.
Derrick Henry now in at running back. The tough-to-tackle 241-pounder. Get him after about 2.5 yards that time. It's a good job by Derek Barnett, the true freshman, who's been a real surprise this year for Tennessee, emerging SEC star.
One other key for Alabama tonight as well is they get their starting center back. In many ways, the MVP of that offensive line. No surprise, their protection and communication's been pretty good because Ryan Kelly is right back at home in the middle.
2nd and 7. Sims, so elusive. Launches it downfield, and inside the 5, it is caught by Cooper. Down to the 1-yard line. 30 more yards for Amari Cooper. 5 receptions, 185 here in the first quarter. Flag is down as Yeldon crossed in, but we'll check on that as Jalston Fowler was sealing that edge.
Offside, number 9. A penalty is declined. Touchdown.
That been on Alabama, I think you would have gone back to that second down. We'd have taken another look because I think Yeldon fell in when he recovered that fumble, but it's a moot point now.
Looked like he was close, if not on that line. But the 1-yard touchdown run for T.J. Yeldon, that's now his 5th rushing touchdown of the year.
His lateral cuts, he actually gains speed and momentum. It is amazing how good he is keeping that speed even when he cuts, and what an amazing start for your Crimson Tide. That's got to feel pretty good for Blake Sims to come out on the road and put the performance that really he's put up at home. And Lane Kiffin saying to us this week that if they could just play every game at home, Blake would be a front runner for the Heisman. His numbers have been that phenomenal in Tuscaloosa. Their offense has, and this looks like their offense has looked in those home games, those dominant efforts in Tuscaloosa.
Evan Berry on the return of the shorter kick. Dobbs again. And that'll bring to an end the first quarter that saw Bama looking as good as they did a week ago, especially Cooper and Sims. 20-point margin for the Tide. Amari Cooper is a big reason why that bottom line looks the way it did. Brock, what were people saying about Alabama struggling on the road? At Ole Miss, at Arkansas, you see the total yards and points. And then look at tonight just in the first quarter.
How many times have I texted you when we've seen many of our colleagues say, oh, here's my Final Four, my last 2 in, and it does not include Alabama. And you and I have seen this team now 3 times. It's as complete a team as there is in college football. And if they can do this on the road and get consistent quarterback play from Blake on the road like he's played in Alabama in Tuscaloosa, they're going to be right there when it matters the most.
Here's Dobbs as he shakes free, and this is what Josh Dobbs can do. That's a great athletic effort from Dobbs.
And a really good call on 3rd and 5. You've seen a lot of pressure, right? A lot of those stunts from the Crimson Tide. And this time, Alabama runs one little stunt. You've got a designed quarterback draw there, and through the tackle of Trey DePriest, which you do not see or say very often. And Dobbs gets a really critical 3rd down conversion for Tennessee.
Jalen Hurd had a cut back with all that pursuit. And Jonathan Allen got to him.
Yeah, you can't do that. You just can't go lateral against this group. And once again, you see the level of pursuit from Alabama. Looked like last week's game tape. Not 1, not 2, but multiple players on that front. And the big reason for that is their ability to exchange, to get lots of bodies in on that defensive line. Kirby Smart telling us very clearly that this may not be top end, the very best they've had, but this is the deepest defensive line group he's coached in Tuscaloosa.
Dobbs trying to keep it alive. Ball came out and right into the hands of Eddie Jackson. Big hit from Reggie Ragland, and that thing went flying. Flag is down at the end there. Reggie Ragland, the coaches have raved about what he's been doing. He came in and just leveled Dobbs and sent that ball flying, and Eddie Jackson scooped it.
That's 250 pounds of violence.
It's a good way to describe it, because that's how he plays.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Alabama after the play. Dead ball, personal foul, number 90 of Alabama, 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st and 10.
That's Sharon Reed with the penalties on.
I'll tell you what, to put that game tape on week 1 versus West Virginia, and yes, DePriest was out next to him, and it was Reuben Foster, and there was a lot of confusion. And to put the game tape to the last 3 or 4 weeks on, you can't do it better than that. You putting your head right on the football right there. And this is part of the problem of not playing all season if you're Josh Dobbs. Many times you can start to work these kinks out early in the season. He has not felt anything like that in the scout team work.
Remember what Nick Saban told us last night? I want us to be dangerous and to just cut it loose. That's an example of it right there with that play by Ragland.
I can point to Anderson, Ragland, Cyrus Jones through 7 weeks of this season. how much better they're playing right now than when this season began.
Sims. He was looking for Cooper on a flag, but it was thrown to the outside. Randolph had coverage. Yeldon in the backfield with Sims. As he muscles his way inside the 30. Third and 4. Good pull by Blake Sims inside the 10. And he just bumper cars his way right into the end zone. A.J. Johnson missed on it. 24-yard touchdown run by Blake Sims.
And you can see the looks on so many of these fans says it all. And you better give a tip of the cap to Lane Kiffin. That's a really good call on 3rd and 4. It was a tremendous call to begin this game, to get into formation and sneak Amari Cooper underneath the line of scrimmage for the big play. And that's the element that Blake does bring you. He doesn't have to do it a ton. In fact, it's maybe even better when they pull it out when they want to do it. But what a tremendous call. Excellent execution. And this is all Alabama right now.
This is a beauty pageant night for the College Football Selection Committee as they get ready to put forth their first rankings. When they say defense like this, Ragland and Jackson had the recovery. And then they see offense like this, all time, all night. Last week they were nearly flawless in the shutout win against A&M. So far it looks much the same here in Knoxville. Evan Berry taken down the 16-yard line.
And one element we've not talked about tonight, and it's maybe as remarkable a feat as anything you're going to see on this field, is the right tackle right now for Tennessee. You want to talk about an offensive line that's trying to gut it out right now. Jacob Gillen, 65, right tackle, playing on one ACL.
Incredible to think about. There he is, number 65, trying to get out and help, as that's a tackle for loss. But Jacob Gillen, the senior, he tore his ACL in week 1. You know, many thought he'd be out for the year, but he chose not to have surgery. And here he is, torn ACL, playing with a brace on. Local kid, was a walk-on, who earned himself a scholarship, and he's trying to help any way he can out there with this offensive line that has 3 guys in new places. As Jalen Hurd is lined up for the direct snap here on 2nd and 15. And Ashawn Robinson limited that effort.
So when you're talking about the best defense or the deepest defensive line in college football, going against a group that's without 2 starters tonight. Marcus Jackson, left guard. They were hoping to get him. He's out. Coleman Thomas, their true freshman right tackle, who started the last 5 games. He's out. So thus Gillum is in. You've got 3 new pieces. You're trying to sort all of this out in the midst of one of the most brutal schedules. 3 top 5 opponents. Now, this is hard, humbling times right now for Butch Jones in his rebuild.
So they haven't converted 3rd and long. Here's 3rd and 13 now. Dobbs gets it complete to Pig Howard. Dobbs was hit as he threw, and Pig Howard with that quick burst, 28 yards ahead to midfield.
That's a big time guts and throw right there from Dobbs. He knows he's going to get whacked on that play. The pressure coming right in his face, and that can be the most difficult to stand strong and especially deliver over the middle of the field. But there you see some of the size in the arm and the talent of Dobbs at 6'3", 210. Willing to take a little bit of that violence and pain.
Marlon Lane, one move to the inside. Turn it on, Marlon. Stiff arming his way inside the 10. Heck of a run by Marlon Lane.
And heck of a response here, too, to try to get this fan base going again.
Got a little support, a little help from Marquez North, the receiver. Seems like all those big runs the receivers chip in, don't they? And now some tempo as he tried to get it out quick. And Howard was down even if he caught it there. We'll mark that at the 6-yard line. That's a catch. You see his hands between the ball and the ground, but obviously down right away.
Better off there going down like a catcher, and you know, if you can't get it, let it go.
2nd and goal. Dobbs just swallowed up Robinson again. He's so disruptive. 6'4", 320-pound freak in the middle for Alabama. He's fast enough to line up anywhere.
And I think coming back into health and conditioning, battled a knee through training camp, missed a lot of time, and he now is just getting his legs underneath him. Reed has really become a force next to him. And there you see some of the challenges in the red zone to find sevens.
3rd and goal. Pressure right up that A gap. Back shoulder, money. Josh Malone. Boy, that had to feel good for that guy, Josh Dobbs. Hadn't played before tonight. And now a touchdown pass against mighty Bama.
I knew there'd be one-on-one opportunities, and give a little tip of the cap to Jalen Hurd there, the running back as well, coming into protection and giving Dobbs the opportunity to finally win one of those one-on-ones on the perimeter.
As Josh Dobbs sparks him there. And Malone did a nice job. Tennessee's on the board here at home. Now, Lane Kiffin obviously getting a lot of attention this week with his return here. Departed in January 2010 after 1 year as head coach of the Vols. His mom said she feared for his safety this week coming back to Knoxville. I think they should be fearing for the Tennessee defense a little bit, although their offense just helping them as they were dug into a 27-zip hole before Josh Dobbs connected with Josh Malone on a nice looking drive that had a little bit of everything. As Dobbs is getting playing time tonight after not taking a snap. That man helping him out right there, Justin Worley, has been the capable starter, but he's injured and out of action. As it's a short kickoff that Landon Collins will field. Here's Sims, looked one way and then comes back the other way as he threw it to the outside of White. Shannon.
Joe, after that touchdown, Josh Dobbs came over to the sideline. He got some congratulations from his teammates, and then he walked over to A.J. Johnson. He said something to him. You see it right there. I couldn't hear what he said, but you got to probably think it was something like, "It's your turn now." How about that from the young quarterback?
Yeah, I like that kind of attitude, Shannon. Josh Dobbs probably saying, "Give me that ball back."
I have a sense, as good a coordinator as Jancic is, that he's going to try to find a plan here, and getting a stop, getting the ball back to Dobbs here before half, a big part of trying to turn this game around.
2nd and 19. As that defense is fired up there with Barnett coming in and getting yelled in. And this place is going to roar now for a 3rd and long. Their offense came down the field, and then you saw Dobbs asking that defense to do their job. Let's see if they can do it here on 3rd and 21. Here's the screen to Yeldon, and he dropped it. So with just over 4 minutes remaining before half, they will get that Tennessee offense the ball back.
This is going to get some yards, and John Jancic very clear yesterday that anytime 3rd and 10 plus, Alabama's got a pretty good tendency of getting to that screen game. That had a real good shot of getting a lot of yardage, and instead J.K. Scott, the freshman, pressed back into action.
Cameron Sutton all the way back near his 23. Fair catch around the 30. 3:53 to go in the half. Tennessee offense on the field. We return. See if they can keep it up after that last drive. Robinson on the tackle of Hurds. And there was an opportunity, but he couldn't connect with Ethan Wolf. Little tight end release. Got in that pocket, but incomplete.
Same play earlier. Same play on the first drive that Dobbs came into the game. You're just trying to get those linebackers' eyes to be influenced by the run fake, and you can see DePriest, but they do that drill all the time with the receiver. It's a distraction drill. That should not have distracted Wolf. Got to find a way to bring that one in.
So now a 3rd and 10 for Dobbs. Somehow that was caught. An amazing effort from North. Marquez North, who was shielded and was able to snag that ball. You shake your head. It goes right through the hands of Jarek Williams. And North was shielded, wasn't distracted, and stayed with it. Wow. 1st and 15 now after the penalty. Design quarterback run blocked very well inside the 15.
It sure was. You see a couple of the Tennessee Volunteers linemen, and you can feel this line gaining a little bit of confidence with their quarterback behind them. Just get out in front of him, and a lot of conviction in that run. I'll tell you what, you go back to that near interception from Williams, that has been a sticky point for this Alabama defense. The inability to create takeaways, only 9 on the season, way off pace from what they've done in years past.
Jalen Hurd as he pushed his way towards that 10-yard line. He's going to be about maybe a half-yard short.
How about the energy?
Clock is counting down. 3 timeouts remain for Tennessee. As A.J. Johnson, the All-America linebacker, is now in playing offense on 3rd down and 1. Look at big number 45. Remember, he did this a couple years ago. In fact, had a touchdown run against Alabama in 2012. He's going to take the direct snap here. Can the linebacker convert? They got to push that pile, and it's not happening. So now coming up on a half-minute remaining. 2 timeouts remaining for Butch Jones. And a 4th and 1. Instead of going for it on 4th and 1 and trying to get 7 and dig out of this hole, they're going to put some points on the board here with Aaron Medley, the talented true freshman place kicker. 10 of 13 on the season. As this is a 27-yard attempt. See if Tennessee can cut further into that Alabama wide margin they opened up the game with. Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban's offense started off on fire. But Tennessee found a way with Josh Dobbs. In that second quarter, Tennessee had 159 total yards to Alabama's 55 after it was all Bama early. Let's go down to the field to Shannon.
Coach, what has Josh Dobbs brought to this first half?
Well, he brings another element. Now we got to take care of the football, but he's a dual threat. He's managing the offense right now. We're making some plays. We just need to settle down defensively. Everything started to happen fast. We made some uncharacteristic mistakes, but we'll get that corrected.
Thank you, Coach. And Joe, he did tell me Dobbs will start in the second half.
No doubt about it. Keep that momentum going. for Tennessee with Josh Dobbs at quarterback. Can they continue the comeback against mighty Bama? Let's go to the guys with the Outback Steakhouse halftime report. It's number 4 Alabama with a 27-10 lead over Tennessee. They were up 27-zip, Brock, and then Tennessee came back in the second quarter. Right before the half there, about half a minute to go, Tennessee had the 2 timeouts. It was 3rd and 1, then it was 4th and 1. They let it run down, used the timeout, kicked the field goal. What'd you make of that decision?
You and I both didn't like that decision. We both squirmed in our seats there. Hard to possess the ball. Yes, they had 2 good possessions in it, but here's the deal. Butch made the decision. It's what he wanted. He wanted to feel good going into halftime, but you have to pay it off now. You will kick the ball to Alabama, and you can make that decision look better by getting a 3 and out and getting the ball back.
His defense did get a stop to put them in position for that field goal drive there. And we saw a quarterback, a young quarterback who wanted it, who went out there and demanded it of that man, A.J. Johnson, his All-America linebacker. Give us the ball back. Let us do something. And let's see if they can do that again and put the ball into Josh Dobbs' hands here. Try to continue this comeback against number 4 Alabama. Landon Collins and Cyrus Jones back to receive Aaron Medley's kick. And this will be Cyrus Jones from the 6. And Jones out to about the 23. Shannon, what did you find out?
Well, Joe, Nick Saban said we relaxed. He shrugged his shoulders and he said, we lost momentum. We let him back in the game. We didn't make the plays we needed to make. He said that certainly he'll be looking at that in the second half. He also told me that Josh Dobbs brings another element with his ability to run. They'll certainly have to contain that. Remember, a few weeks ago, Nick Saban told me adversity tolerance is the key. Now, I know 17 points is not exactly adversity, but it'll be interesting to see how this Alabama team responds.
Shannon and I laughed when he told that. We were sitting with him and I said, Coach, we're putting another phrase in that Saban glossary. There it is, adversity tolerance. Play action. Sims downfield, complete DeAndrew White.
You see what they did to come out to start the second half? The exact same formation they started the game. They're in a 2-by-2 set because they know Tennessee's tendency is not to pressure him. A little quick play action. You get Blake on the move just enough. It wasn't a home run, but it was a very similar concept to start the game and start the second half.
They go 2-by-2 again here, a little more outside the numbers, and that opened up a lot of space for T.J. Yeldon as he gets his way to midfield, a gain of 9.
I have a hunch we're going to see a little more of TJ than we did in that first half. And now some movement on that offensive line, some new pieces having to be juggled, and Tennessee says, we don't feel sorry for you. That's exactly what we've had to do all season long.
Move Leon Brown, who usually plays guard, over to left tackle here. 2nd and 1. Quick screen, White. One move and lost a yard. Now that pass was thrown behind him, and his body momentum took him in the wrong direction because of it.
That's an excellent point. That's a negative. That's a minus play on your grade sheet, unfortunately. You put that on your front shoulder, you've got a first down. Instead, he puts it on the back shoulder, allows Justin Coleman the opportunity to close the ground, to make the tackle, and to get this oh-so-popular 3rd down song going once again.
3rd and 2. All year long, Tennessee has been so good on 3rd down. And Hal Nealon has been so loud on 3rd down. T.J. Yeldon, direct snap, lost yardage, and may have lost a shoe. Somebody did.
Look at the arms. Look at the arms in the air. That play is totally bungled, and Lane knows it. Remember that communication we talked about? In the ease with which Alabama was communicating in the first quarter, that thing awful from the very beginning. Misaligned. Jones is coming in motion. He stops. And what a stop. You want to talk about paying off a decision at the end of the half. It was imperative that Tennessee forces this punt. And miscommunication, a big culprit there on 3rd down.
J.K. Scott on to punt. Josh Dobbs, keep it up. Here's Dobbs. And he goes with the screen to Pig Howard. It doesn't take much for Pig Howard to move up the field. 7 quick yards there.
See the difference in ball placement, though, and that's a tough sign there as Landon is going off the field. More movement defensively, but there's the difference. 2nd and 1's a conversion. Alabama still has the ball if Blake puts it on the front shoulder. Nice pitch and catch there and good productivity on 1st down.
2nd and 11. As they give to Hurd, and Reed and Robinson find him.
It's a good conversation with Coach Saban last night, just talking about the DNA of this team and some of its identity and how it has taken shape. And he pointed to the Hightowers of before and some of the real alpha males that he's had, Ronaldo, McClain. This kid's becoming one. I mean, he is really growing in his presence. And Rolando is such a difference maker with Hightower. And when you're physical guys, your violent players can really step their game up. Man, does it impact your defense.
3rd and 7. Dobbs sprinting to the top of your screen. Puts up a duck that is caught. They are saying that's a reception as Marquez North was able to handle that. Jonathan Allen had pressure on Dobbs. Dobbs put it downfield, and somehow, some way, good for 22 yards. Allen gets to Hurd after a gain of 3. I'll tell you, Josh Dobbs is just a gamer. This kid hasn't taken a snap before tonight all year long. Nathan Peterman started tonight as Justin Worley was unable to go with the injury. And I think there's probably some Tennessee fans shaking their head and saying, should have just gone with Dobbs right from the start. Pulled it, has the option to throw it, instead tucks it, and then is run down by Jarek Williams. They've run that form of the option play a few times tonight. Hoping to get that defensive back to come up and play the run and see that receiver release. But that never happened that time.
You know, it's good discipline by Eddie Jackson.
3rd and 3. Here's the slant. Well done, Ethan Wolf. 1st down, Tennessee.
How about these 3rd down conversions from Dobbs? It wasn't pretty on the previous 3rd down, but keep the ball in play, give your guy an opportunity to make a play for you. And that time throwing a dart. Finally, the 3rd time they've tried 3 different occasions to connect with Wolf, and that time the freshman tight end able to bring it down.
This time he gives to Pearson. That never had a chance, as Nick Perry was quick to blow it up.
Feels like a shot play, doesn't an opportunity possibly to the bottom of your screen.
Good spot on the field to do it too, Brock. And there it was over the middle as he was looking for Malone.
And you can see Jarek Williams right there putting his hands up. A couple different occasions now, these tied defenders having a chance to get that critical takeaway. And they get to one early on the fumble caused by Ragland, but outside of that, a few chances have gone through the fingertips of these Crimson Tide secondary members.
3rd and 8. Trying to set up the screen. Now he's got to do it on his own. Oh, what a fake that was by Dobbs. He pumped, Dixon bit, and Dobbs went right by him. 15-yard run and a 1st down for Tennessee.
Did you say gamer?
Totally a gamer. Look at that.
That's 3 3rd down conversions, and give all of the credit in the world to the quarterback making his first appearance of the season.
Out of the backfield is Hurd. Inside the 10, inside the 5. This is going to be 1st and goal, Tennessee.
And look at these Tennessee players offensively helping one another. Pearson on the outside. That's one-on-one with Jarek Williams, really setting the table up there. And now 1st and goal for Tennessee.
This game was 27-0 Alabama early in the 2nd quarter. they were doing anything they wanted to offensively. It seemed hopeless for Tennessee. Miscommunication with the freshman Jalen Hurd. Dobbs looked one way for the handoff. Hurd wasn't there.
That was hopeless.
Indeed. Remember, Dobbs hadn't taken a snap before tonight. Look at the total yards in the first quarter for Bama. Look at since that point. A reversal. Second and goal now, backed up to the 9.
Got one-on-ones outside.
And it's going to be 3rd and goal. And Bama defense with Reed and Tomlinson crashing down on Dobbs.
And this area of the field has been a real challenge. As things condense, it puts more pressure on that offensive line to protect. Those windows get smaller to throw into. As you see Landon Collins coming back on the field. Just 57% conversions and touchdowns this season. They settled for the field goal earlier before half. And another enormous play with the energy in this building ready to explode if they can find 6.
3rd and goal. Pearson. Touchdown, Tennessee. The comeback continues. Von Pearson. He wasn't even recruited out of high school. He was working at fast food restaurants. He was really at a dead end. Wasn't going anywhere in life back home in Virginia when a friend said, hey, why don't you come out to California with me, play a little JUCO football. Drove all the way cross country to play, and a second chance at life. And now a Tennessee Volunteer, capping a 15-play drive against mighty Alabama that has them right back in this game. There is Smokey 10, that great-looking blue-tick hound. On football weekends, he's cared for by members of Tennessee's Alpha Gamma Rho frat. 4 members take care of him. They groom him. They get that vest on. And then he comes out to big nights like this. Tennessee has roared back. 27-17 Alabama. After they jumped out 27-0. 12 minutes remaining before the half. And now this score here in the 3rd. Cyrus Jones on the return for the Tide. He slipped that time, and he was cutting back. Felt like he had something there.
Well, if you're the best one-loss team in college football, you stand up to this adversity right now.
There's Cooper this time. They're able to gather him. Joel Mosley with the tackle.
This is what happens when you have 180-some yards in the first half. You can get a little cushion on 2nd and 10. But the most important thing, you make the tackle to once again at least put yourself in position to play to your greatest strength this season, and that has been your 3rd down defense, especially in this building.
Another 3rd down. 3rd down and 9. Just on the south side of midfield for Alabama. Sims extending the play, tucking, running, trying. Where's the mark? And that looks like it's going to be a 1st down for the Tide. As Lane Kiffin buries his head right back in that call sheet, the former Tennessee head coach in his return here to Knoxville.
Every offensive coordinator is going to tell you that teams that convert really well on third down have quarterback play like you've seen on this drive. And watch the offensive coordinator take a look at his redshirt senior, giving it up right there.
I think Kiffin wants this in a town where they've had local political ads with candidates disparaging each other, comparing them to the former Tennessee coach. Now Henry twisting his way to the 40-yard line.
Well, what I think he has done here wisely is gotten back to some basics. Your left tackle is out. Get back to some of your favorable matchups, couple zone replays that have been positive. That third down, Blake does an excellent job of extending and really creating and making that on his own. But a drive here that's featured the ground game, that's settled down this audience a little bit and kept this Tennessee defense for the first time in some time on the field with a sustained drive.
Second and 7, swinging it to Yeldon. And Yeldon trying to fight for extra against McNeil as they continue on this drive here. Remember, they're doing so with now Leon Brown playing left tackle. Cam Robinson, the super talented freshman, left the game injured. This is their 4th third down they're facing up this drive alone. An 11-play drive for Alabama. Let's see what Kiffin calls up this time. As they go empty on 3rd and 4. And he gets it complete to Cooper. So reliable is Amari Cooper.
Joe, this is a big-time drive for Blake Sims. On the road, a difficult environment. You heard Nick Saban tell our Shannon down on the sidelines coming into the second half that we kind of let this game get away from us. We relaxed and allowed Tennessee to gain momentum back in their building with 104,000, and it's 27-17, and your quarterbacks had to have 4 big third down conversions, and so much of this drive, you better give credit to number 6.
Derrick Henry gets free. Here goes Henry. Right on in. Cam Sims gave him support with a block, and the big boy finishes with a 28-yard touchdown run.
I told you, get back to running the ball. Nick Saban, I told you.
Sounds simple, doesn't it, Brock? Doubled them up. 34-17. Here's one of those big third downs when Sims gave extra effort. Coach Kiffin loved that. And then it's always nice when you got big Derrick Henry.
Fourth quarter's been the real challenge for the Volunteers, as beaten up as they are, the lack of depth they have, as many young people, and they've got to do something they've been unable to achieve, and that's really possess the ball and once again try to turn this momentum around.
Jalen Hurd into that boundary side, trying to get to the edge, which is really tough to do, as Dylan Lee found him.
Their 4 quarters against A&M, the first quarter and a half of this game, I don't think there would have been a whole lot of debate if that committee sits right now or right at that point, but it's a little different story here as Tennessee has made a game, has battled back, and has shown a tremendous amount of resolve.
Let's further that conversation a little bit when we get to the 4th quarter and see if Tennessee can respond. Magnificent Neyland Stadium. One of the grand rivalries in college football, always known as the 3rd Saturday in October. Move the date, it doesn't matter. It's always something special with Bama and Tennessee. I like Dobbs' ability on a play like that. As he read it, saw the little opening, was able to be explosive throughout it and move the chains for a Tennessee first down. Dobbs downfield, overthrown and intercepted by Cyrus Jones. Cyrus Jones has been gaining more and more confidence as the year has gone on.
And that was a throw of desperation, unfortunately.
Sure
One of the
was.
real forced mental errors there. Really good coverage, safety over the top. That had a no chance. And a couple takeaways now tonight. And if this team is going to be the elite defense that they envision that they can be, that is the one element. Came into tonight just 9 turnovers in 7 games for Alabama. The forced fumble earlier there. They finally are able to corral the interception.
Ball is loose. Tennessee's got it. Corey Vereen. It was a bad exchange between Sims and Henry.
And just when you're ready to start to write that script in a rivalry game, 34-17, Dobbs, a couple rough possessions, forces the interception, and Alabama jumps off sides, and Henry and Sims in their zone read game saying, I thought I gave it to you, I thought you were going to take it, and instead, well, now they brought a little life back into this stadium. A lot of the fans that vacated after that long possession from Alabama, but setting Tennessee up with some prime real estate.
Von Pearson. There's Dobbs again on a good read and a nice surge and a first down for Tennessee.
How about this run game from Tennessee tonight? 6th worst in college football coming in. Could not get a 100-yard average, just 2.6 yards a carry, and an Alabama defense that had been so good, number 2 in college football, has given up nearly 200 on the ground, and you better give a ton of credit to this quarterback for that.
Marlon Lane, only a yard there. Sean Robinson clogging up the middle.
Tennessee had a really nice wrinkle on their 3rd down in the red zone to score their touchdown earlier. We've got Alabama to miscommunicate, to not make the adjustment into their bunch coverage. Let's see if Mike Bajakian comes back here trying to mix some of those formations and groups.
Dobbs sprints to the near side and out in the flat. Tremendous effort to haul it in, but not for much. North extended himself.
May not see a prettier 2-yard catch on this Saturday. That's beautiful.
Third and 5, Tennessee 10 of 16 on 3rd downs tonight.
Once again, lots of communication on the back end of that Alabama defense.
He threw it behind on that slant there that was there all day long with North. Would have been a score.
And that's Cyrus Jones in press coverage. You don't see him in the picture because of the blitz look there from Alabama. One-on-one, and you know exactly what's going through Butch's mind, exactly what he stressed to us yesterday. We've got to make that play. In every one of these games, there's been a handful of plays that we've got to get over that hump, and you can't have it any cleaner than that. And Dobbs here has found some bumps in the road in this 4th and most important period of play.
Aaron Medley, and he punches it through. And that makes it an even 2-touchdown margin with 9:42 to play.
And I don't think there's any debate. We'll see whether or not Worley can come back and play this season, but I don't think there's any debate about who this quarterback is going to be if Worley can't go the rest of the way.
This is going to be Cyrus Jones from the goal line. Throw down to Shannon.
Well, Joe, some players need to learn leadership skills and others just have it. Dobbs, he has it. I've watched him when he comes off the field, and before he goes to sit on the bench, he walks out and he encourages the players that are on the field. He comes over to the bench, and same is being done. He's talking to all these guys. Now, he has practiced with the team during the week, taking equal number of snaps, so you know that the chemistry is there, but the respect is there as well, 100%.
And Shannon, this is a young man that could have been on track to be redshirted this year. Played last year as a true freshman. Hadn't taken a snap before tonight, but with Worley out, gets his opportunity, and he's made the most of it. Now his defense needs to get him the ball back. They fake the pitch, and Sims downfield gets it complete. That was really well executed to Cooper.
Trust your plan. Trust your plan and your preparation, and you've come out now on 3 different occasions in some different formations, but it's the same 2-by-2, and you know the Tennessee tendency this season is not to pressure.
And with that catch, Brock, Amari Cooper sets the Alabama record, single game record for receiving yards. Julio Jones had it at 221. Tonight, Amari Cooper, 224. The most receiving yards in the history of this great football program. Under 7 minutes to play. Bama looking to bleed that clock. And come and stack up Derrick Henry with Jalen Reeves, Maven.
It's been a physical football game.
Sure has.
A game down in Baton Rouge, obviously maybe a little bit more physical because of the style of play of 1 less miles, but going to be some really sore, tired bodies coming out of this one, and no better time for the Crimson Tide before they go battle LSU to have their bye next week.
Second and 6. Sims. And it's incomplete. And the flag is down. As Justin Coleman had the coverage that time.
And he was early.
Pass interference. Defense number 37. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
It was 27, Coleman, who came in early against Andrew White. Get that shoulder in there right in the back before the ball arrived, Brock.
You have a right to the football, but you cannot put your body and go through that wide receiver. That's an easy call.
How about Jalston Fowler? Fumbled the ball as he was going into the end zone. And Jalen Reeves Maven recovered it.
Look at Fowler. He's had 7 receiving touchdowns. He's not had many of those opportunities. Had a run earlier. He gets a second opportunity. And you know what, Franklin? That's a real credit to Tennessee.
And Cameron Sutton.
Yeah, it is. And Butch Jones hates losing. And this season's driving him crazy. And we saw him the other day, and he's exhausted. And he's never been through something like this with the team as beaten up as they are, playing as many freshmen as he is. No one playing more. 23 of them on the season. And he says, it's a bottom line business. But there is a process in this, and that just continued fight that this team has shown and really showed tonight has got to be at least an encouraging sign coming out.
There's Pearson. And that quick pass from Dobbs. And then Collins left for a moment, return to action.
And then on the flip side, you absolutely know that Nick Saban's going to say, you got to finish better. Started so red hot and couldn't play a better first quarter, up 27-0, and then let Tennessee back in the game with their own mistakes. And then the opportunity to really finish it off in style, and you don't.
That was a nice effort to get it out to Pig Howard. He had a good reception there. So I think Tennessee fans are going to walk away from this. I know it's a rivalry game against mighty Alabama, and they had high hopes, as they always do. But they can leave here knowing that Josh Dobbs did something tonight. And there's something to look forward to with him. As once again gets a completion, this time Marquez North. They have talent out on the perimeter, does Tennessee.
They sure do, and this element of the dual threat nature is really critical for this offensive line that is going to continue to be beat up really for the rest of this season. As many moving pieces as they have, and you've seen it slow down Alabama. 84 yards on the ground by Dobbs himself. And really after that onslaught early, possession after possession after possession of forcing bunts, once Dobbs came into the game, his mix of run, his ability to beat them on those quarterback draws and on those scrambles, it's got this Alabama group up front here not doing much of this.
Jalen Hurd just avoided a big hit from Jarek Williams.
This is keep everything in front of you if you're Alabama here, and look at the depth of their safeties.
Some pressure on Dobbs. You see how to throw it away with DJ Petway coming in on it. An Alabama team that's going to be right up there now with just that one loss coming to Ole Miss, who was upset down at LSU tonight. Be interesting to see what the College Football Playoff Selection Committee reveals to us Tuesday night with their first rankings. Does Alabama ascend to number 3? We have nothing set to know where they were prior. Been looking at the AP poll.
I would continue to, though. And my hope is they look at the strength of this conference and what these teams have done to anybody outside of this SEC West. And you better give them the benefit of the doubt, at least to me, in these initial rankings. It's what you and I have talked all summer long when we got together as a group back in Bristol, Connecticut, with everybody in college football. You want that head-to-head competition. I don't want any hypothetical or speculative. That SEC West is beating up everybody. And their only loss, Arkansas against Georgia, the strength of the SEC East versus the very bottom right now in the SEC West. You better give them the benefit of the doubt.
They have dominated competition beyond their division. And then only within the division, that's where you find the losses. As Ole Miss found out today, one of the toughest tasks in all of college football, trying to win a night game in Baton Rouge. Amari Cooper was sensational tonight, setting the single game receiving yard record at Alabama with 224 yards receiving.
And the bye week, and then one more road trip. They've got to go down to LSU, who devoured and finished Ole Miss tonight. And that's it. And then it'll be Mississippi State at home and Western Carolina at home and the Iron Bowl at home. And this has been the challenge, getting away from Tuscaloosa. And could you play your style of game where you have been so dominant in your own building? And for a quarter and a half, you were tonight. And when it mattered the most in this third quarter, you turned the tide.
Well, you mentioned that Mississippi State game. It's Deshaun Hand, one of the top recruits in the entire country last year. Gets in on the action there. You mentioned that Mississippi State game, November 15th down in Tuscaloosa. What a showdown that's going to be, Brock.
Yeah, but November 8th at LSU will be pretty good, too.
Always is, isn't it? Big Howard couldn't get it.
What a little corner blitz on 4th and 19, by the way. Bringing the corner
right to the bitter end.
Right to the end. And Butch Jones has worn out his voice tonight. He wasn't happy with a lot of the game management of these officials. He let them have it a number of different times. And he's going to continue to let them have it. There were a lot of plays. There were some substitutions. There were some timeouts. There were some delay of games. Some real challenges. But I think more than anything, when he watches this tape, he will continue to highlight plays